No more applications. The best job in the world has been filled, and we are going to introduce you to the lucky winner. I'm Carl Azus. This is CNN Student News. First up, President Obama meets with the heads of two countries whose security, he says, is linked with America's. We're talking about Pakistan and Afghanistan, neighboring nations in Asia. Representatives from both governments gathered in Washington yesterday to take part in talks about how to stabilize their region. At the White House, the country's presidents met with Mr. Obama to discuss strategies for how they can work together to achieve that goal.
We meet today as three sovereign nations joined by a common goal: to disrupt, dismantle, and defeat Al-Qaeda and its extremist allies in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and to prevent their ability to operate in either country in the future. And to achieve that goal, we must deny them the space to threaten the Pakistani, Afghan, or American people.
Well, this part of the world has been in the news a lot recently. You've seen it on our show. How is its security connected to America's? Afghanistan and Pakistan are half a world away. Why does it matter if President Obama meets with their leaders? Well, you've heard about the Taliban expanding its control in Pakistan. They used to be in control of neighboring Afghanistan. This is a group that didn't allow women to get an education or even show their faces in public. What are considered misdemeanors in the U.S. could mean a fatal beating under Taliban rule. There was no music, no TV. The most basic civil liberties didn't exist. And it was the Taliban that allowed the Al-Qaeda terrorist group to set up shop in Afghanistan, getting armed, getting trained, and planning events like the September 11th attacks. So you can see why it's important to the U.S. that the Taliban doesn't ever gain control in Pakistan, which also happens to have nuclear weapons. And what about Afghanistan? Didn't the U.S. lead an effort to strike back at Al-Qaeda and kick out the Taliban in 2001? Yes. But today, Afghanistan is anything but stable. Like Pakistani President Asif Ali Zardari, Afghan President Hamid Karzai is considered by many political analysts to be weak and unpopular in his home country. President Obama is sending 21,000 additional U.S. troops to Afghanistan to help prevent the spread of militants there. And he's sending American civilian workers and billions of dollars to both Afghanistan and Pakistan in hopes of strengthening stability in the region.
A word to the wise: graft. Human tissue that's transplanted between people or from one part of a person to another. Also, the surgery in which this transplant is performed.
5 years ago, a violent attack left Connie Culp unable to smell, speak, or even breathe normally. But after a marathon surgery involving multiple skin grafts, that is all changed. Dr. Sanjay Gupta explains some of the details of this historic medical procedure. Now, this report includes some images that students might find disturbing, so teachers, we encourage you to preview it before showing it to your class.
A shotgun blast 5 years ago blew this woman's face to pieces, a 46-year-old mother of two. In a moment, her identity gone. This was the end result. Connie Culp no longer had a nose, could not eat solids or drink from a cup. She had a hard time breathing. She lived in virtual seclusion.
Little children would shy away from her and actually be scared of her.
Then after years of waiting, Culp was matched with a donor, a face donor. Even as a doctor, I'd never seen anything quite like it. The most extensive facial transplant ever. Before, after. It took 22 hours, 8 surgeons. 80% of Culp's face, her palate, upper lip, nose, eyelids, replaced with that of a donor.
I got me my nose.
And here's how she got it. First, graft skin from the face of a donor who had just died. Doctors careful to preserve arteries, veins, nerves. The next hours are critical. Using powerful microscope, doctors married the veins and arteries from donor to recipient, and then grafted the donor's skin onto Culp's face. The only indication it worked, the veins and arteries began to course with blood.
You have to wait and see if it clots or make sure that it continues to flush. For that initial 5 minutes is you know you've done your job.
Face transplantation is new territory, conferring tremendous risk, especially for a procedure that, unlike liver or heart transplantation, is not life-saving. Add to that, face transplant patients require high doses of immune system suppressing drugs for life. so that the body does not reject the new face. I interviewed Dr. Maria Simino, who led Culp's operation before the transplant.
You're talking about a long operation with a foreign tissue that's going to require a lifetime of anti-rejection medications. It may not take, and the person could actually, their life could be threatened. How do you reconcile those two things?
Those people are not just coming with such a commitment because they want to be beautiful. They want to be normal, and they want to be just come back to the society as anybody else. And I think they have a right to decide about that.
Is this legit? The Great Barrier Reef is located off the Australian state of Victoria. Right country, wrong state. It's located off the coast of Queensland.
That is why that state, Queensland, is home to what's being called the best job in the world. You might remember us running down the responsibilities a few months ago. You have to live on the beach in a free house, go sailing, snorkeling, and kayaking, and then blog about the experience. Yes, I'm jealous. Max Foster introduces us to the new and incredibly lucky island caretaker for the Great Barrier Reef.
Hi, I'm Ben, or otherwise known as the adventurous, crazy, energetic one, and there's only 55 seconds left to tell you why. Ah!
It wasn't the most conventional application video, but then it wasn't for a conventional job. This is the applicant who eventually won out.
Practically finished myself!
For the next 6 months, Ben Southall will live here on the Great Barrier Reef. His arduous task will be to explore, make friends, and produce an online diary of his experiences as the new caretaker of Australia's picturesque Hamilton Island. Ben was one of around 34,000 people from 200 countries who responded to this ad placed by Tourism Queensland. These were some of the other hopefuls.
Always wanted to swim with dolphins.
I'm trying to think.
Good day, my name's Eric Wendorf. I'm from the United States and live in Jacksonville, Florida.
Hamilton Island, sea and blue skyland, bushwalking, snorkeling, scuba and me.
I love adventure.
Take me to the island, set my spirit free. It works out perfectly with my biology degree.
16 finalists were eventually invited to Hamilton Island to undergo a not-so-rigorous selection process.
Here we go, baby! Let the games begin!
They were tested on their swimming skills and their ability to blog. Tensions ran high as the winner was announced.
I hope I can fill the boots as much as everybody is expecting. My swimming hopefully is up to standard, and I look forward to all of the new roles and responsibilities that the task involves.
Ben now gives up his job as a charity fundraiser in the UK to become a caretaker in Australia. Although the weather will be better, and so will the pay. He'll receive $110,000 US for his troubles. The job also comes with a 3-bedroom beach home, a swimming pool, and a golf cart. This is Max Foster for CNN in London, unfortunately.
Well, I don't know. London isn't so bad, and neither is Atlanta. Well, you can't blog about the Barrier Reef at our website, but you can talk about your favorite teachers. It is Teacher Appreciation Week. We are offering you guys a chance to give them a shout out and share why you think they're doing a great job. You might even see your comments on our show. You know where to go, cnnstudentnews.com. Every day we try to find something unique for our Before We Go segment. That'll do. This guy isn't planning to put on a show, although he seems to have an audience anyway. He's just hungry and looking to do a little dumpster diving in search of sustenance. Wildlife experts say it's bad he seems comfortable around people, but it looks like the furry friend just picked up on our habit of eating junk food. Yeah, and you thought the pun would be about the animal? Come on, that's barely a challenge. Woo! We will be back tomorrow to close out the week. For CNN Student News, I'm Carl Azuz.